Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, there is this story about impeachment on Rigathi Gachagua, which is now taking the internet by storm. There's talk that there are people within UDA who want to see Rigathi Gachagua ousted, or rather impeached, and replaced with someone else. Already there are indications about who is supposed to replace Rigathi Gachagua. I heard about Ndindi Nyoro, that Ndindi Nyoro is the person who is supposed to replace Rigathi Gachagua. I don't know about that. It's just a matter of time before we get facts about this move. But I want to take you up to speed with what's happening in UDA, because the crisis in UDA right now, the crisis in UDA, you'll be shocked. There are members who stormed UDA offices.
And I'm here to confirm that he is no longer the Secretary General of UDA party. I, Joe Halende, will be taking over as the Secretary General of UDA party.
And this move preceded a statement that was issued by Ayub Savula. So in this analysis, ladies and gentlemen, there is something that we need to talk about, because it's believed that the meeting that Cleophas Malala called for, that Natembeya was part of, Rigathi Gachagua's name was featured in that meeting. So in this analysis, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to establish why Rigathi's name was featured in that meeting, and why Ayub Savula made a statement saying that he had contacted Raila Amolo Odinga, who advised him that all ODM, UDA, ODM and all other politicians to stay away from that meeting, because it is not a meeting about budget, because it was believed to be a meeting about budget. But the truth that came out of that issue is that the meeting was political and the meeting was about Rigathi. So I wanted to take your time and like this video. It is so important. If you like this video, that is the only way YouTube shares our content. And I'm so grateful for everybody who has been liking our videos. I don't take that for granted. Subscribe to our channel if you've not subscribed before. And to existing subscribers, thank you so much for your support. Why is Rigathi Gachagua's name being featured in that meeting, which Cleophas Malala had said was a meeting about the budget? You know, that is the budget of Kenya.
A budget of a country is not done by a Secretary General of a party. Budget is done by the executive, comprises ministers, and is taken to Parliament for approval. It is not discussed in a hotel. The meeting should be ignored. The meeting at Golf should be ignored as a flopped meeting, because the representative of the people are the elected MPs, elected senators, elected governors. A meeting convened by one governor and a Secretary General cannot address the issues bedeviling the Luhya community.
I want to tell you something here that happened last year, before you get further on Ayub Savula's statement. Last year, I heard Natembeya talk about Rigathi Gachagua working with youthful leaders in Western Kenya to frustrate other leaders. And what came out of that talk is that Rigathi was trying to marshal his troops in preparation for 2032, assuming William RUTO will retain power in 2027 and Rigathi Gachagua will be the second in command still in 2027. So the plan was for Rigathi Gachagua to prepare his troops. There's something that I need to tell you also. You know very well that Wetangula and Mudavadi cannot be on one side. That is something that you also need to know. Wetangula and Mudavadi can't be on one side. I mean, hiyo ni kama maji na mafuta. You can't just see it, but they can't be on one side. Hatu kusema kwamba wanasimama urais, nani atasimama urais na nani atakuwa deputy. Hapo ndio kuna shida. They cannot be, when it comes to who is vying for which position, who is vying for the presidency, hapo kuna shida. That is why Rigathi Gachagua also knows very well that For him to achieve his objective, he must separate Wetangula and Mudavadi. So now we have two factions here. You remember the time when Natembeya used to attack Wetangula, then he ended up attacking Mudavadi. You know, he attacked them. He was trying to create his own political, relevancy within the Western Kenya, trying to get political mileage out of the sweat of these people. So he succeeded. He got following, huge following, and the people of Trans Nzoia County now believe in him. So I am suspecting that there is another plan to have Rigathi, Natembeya, Malala, and Wetangula on one side. I am suspecting that move. That is why you find that Malala was previously accused of siding with Rigathi Gachagua. That's why most of the time when Rigathi Gachagua would tour Kakamega, Rigathi Gachagua would sleep at Malala's home. There was that talk. That's why you find that in the morning when Rigathi used to go for joggings, you'd see Malala on his side. So that means there was something that was being crafted there. So Ayub Savula is giving us a story here, saying that he contacted Raila Amolo Odinga, yes, but then Raila Amolo Odinga told him that meeting is not about the budget. The budget, finance bill, the budget. That meeting is about politics and trying to create factions for 2032. I think that's the reason you find that most leaders, in fact, almost all leaders, stayed away from that meeting. And the only elected leader in that meeting was Governor Natembeya. And probably Malala, who was not elected by members of UDA to be a Secretary General. By the way, Malala was simply nominated to take that position of UDA. So there is an election that is still pending for that seat. So there are people who invaded UDA headquarters and claim that Malala is no longer a Secretary General. And this is the reason why Malala found himself on the defensive and wrote a tweet. And I want to take you through this tweet from Malala. This is what Malala said. Ignore propaganda. The party is stable and focused on helping President William Ruto achieve his agenda for Kenya. Chama iko imara. And then he shared a letter there. A letter that was titled Resignation for Immediate Release. Resignation. This strategy that the members of UDA took, trying to, unseat Cleophas Malala, is the same strategy that Edwin Sifuna used. You see, the way Cleophas Malala was allegedly ousted is the same way Edwin Sifuna ousted someone for that position of Secretary General. And that is how Sifuna became the Secretary General. And that is why to date, he's the most professional and most relevant Secretary General. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to rest my case here. But this story is really pointing to something. Already in UDA, there are two factions. There exist two factions. And because there exist two factions, we know that Natembeya is a DAPK leader. Malala is a UDA leader. Eugene Wamalwa is a DAPK leader. Eugene doesn't work with William Samoei Ruto. So what is it that a UDA Secretary General was discussing with a DAPK senior leader? What were they discussing? And that conflict of interest that Eugene Wamalwa has been talking about? Just go below the comment section and offer your reaction. We will still get more details from what was discussed in that meeting. But as far as you're concerned, Ayub Savula said that was not a development meeting. It was simply a political meeting. That's why no member of parliament attended. It was only Natembeya who is elected and Cleophas Malala who is not elected. Really just appointed. So perhaps if you're watching this video and not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until we catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.